Let me know once the screen is shared. Just give me a quick yes or no. Yes, okay, thank you. So here it's not blur also, like bigger screen, right? I increase the resolution, I mean, yeah, the resolution of the screen display and all that. Now it's fine, right? No blur thing. Fine. So guys, if I'm asking a question, if you don't give reply, I'll take it as a yes. Okay. Now coming back here, like and wildcard. So in like and wildcard, we have two wildcards. So in like, when you are doing, okay. So when we are doing this, we have two wildcards. When we are doing the wildcard pattern writing, we also use something called like. Okay. We also use something called like. Fine. Now in this like, we have fine. In this like, one second. Yeah, we have underscore. So underscore is, this is used to represent single character. Okay, and then after this we have something called percentage. Okay, this will represent multiple characters. So that means, suppose when you're writing a pattern, if you don't know one letter, if you don't know the spellings and you don't know what letter comes there, you can just put one underscore there. Or if you know only first three letters, right? First three letters and tell percentage, because percentage represents more than one characters. Okay, if I write select, because it is filtering the text data, I'll go with country. I have country. After country, I have from global orders. Okay, where, first let me display this. When I display this, you get the country names here. See, you will see very less countries if I go with this font. So that is the problem. Fine. We have here. So for example, if I'm having countries, can you see there are repetition, New Zealand, United States, United States. Just to ignore these repetitions, I'll use this thing. Okay. Now if I, is this not your batch? Sorry. I saw this content last, so I'm teaching. One second. I think this is yours. Yes, why don't you guys tell me if I'm continuing?
Yes, we are able to.
You won't even ask me.
I am about to ask you, but I don't know where that batch 13 database came. I was thinking.
Okay, fine. That's okay. So yours is personally, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll put it as default. Please remind me, no, because of the different ones, I might get confused sometimes. Okay, chalo. Fine, let's continue here. So we know how to create a table. That's what we have done yesterday and inserted records, right? Chalo, okay then.
Yes.
So we have created table and inserted. Until here, do you have any doubts?
No.
No doubts? Fine. Now look, just let's look at the data. Now when I display the table, I have all these records in my table, right? Now if I want to update this null value with a number. Okay, suppose the John, I forgot to write, so it took null. Now I want to update with 80, the number 80. Okay, then I have update. Which table do I want to update? Student info. Correct. I want to set, what do I want to set? Marks is equals to 80. For whom should I give marks is equals to 80? Then anywhere you're writing a condition, we have to use where. Okay, we are updating student info and we are setting marks as 80 where student name is equals to John. So that means for this person for whom the student name is John, give him the marks of 80. Or you can also write, if you don't want to write this student name, you can also write student ID is equals to 3. Anything works. Right? Now if I execute this, and now I'll show the table, I'll display the table. See, you have 80. This part, I want all of you to try this update in your screens right now, because most of your laptops, it will not be working. I'll tell you how to make it work. Can you please take 2 minutes of time and do this? Because it has a restriction, it will not work. Are you guys trying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did it execute for all of you?
No, ma'am. For me, it is showing error as
Safe
unknown
update
caller.
mode error.
Sorry?
Safe update mode error or unknown column.
Yeah, unknown column.
So which column did you write exactly the same way like this?
Yes, yes. Update
Do you have
student
a
info.
table called student info? In your database, did you create a table student info?
Yes, ma'am. I created.
Did you insert a record with student ID 3 in it?
Yes.
Sure.
Sure, sure, yes.
Okay, 1 second then. Let's please share your screen.
1 second, ma'am. I'll connect in laptop. I connected in mobile right now. I'm using my laptop. 1 second.
Why do you guys connect on phone like you connect on phone, look at the phone and do it in laptop? Or
Yeah, yeah. To look at the phone and I want to do it in laptop.
okay, connect fast. Did others try it? Any errors? Did anyone face this error safe update mode?
This conference will now be recorded.
Guys, anyone else are facing any issues? Any errors?
Ma'am, am I unable to share it?
Now you can share. Durga Prasad, I'm not sure about the installation of Snowflake exactly. Show me the database. Show me student info table. Why are you working on sys? Sys is for system. It's for system configuration. It is written there. Where is your student info table? Okay, you have the student info table in personal DB. Okay. Now in student info table, execute that. Execute that. What is the error? Column studid in where clause is not there. Can you show me the column? Expand that column names. On the left, expand the column names. Under the table, on the left, expand the column names. Under the table, on the left side, expand the column names.
Here?
Which is your left?
Yeah.
Which is your left? Where is the table? Where did you show me that there is student info table?
Here. Okay, okay. Here?
Huh. Under that student info, do you have columns?
Yes.
Expand that columns.
Yeah.
What is the student ID spelling? What is the spelling you gave?
STUID.
What did you give?
Oh, sorry.
What is the spelling of marks? What is the column name marks in your table?
Okay. So that is H2STU. Is that fine, ma'am?
That you should confirm me by looking at the left in your
I
table which you created.
I gave STUMARKS.
If you're clear, execute and see. System will tell you if it is false. Now this error is what I'm expecting. Click on hide on the bottom. This error is what I'm expecting. Safe update mode. Okay, so what you guys, all of you will do is save this script, whatever you wrote until now. Save this script. To save it, you have your blue color SQL file to save it. Click on save. Give the name for it and save it on desktop or somewhere. So easy access, don't save it in documents. Select desktop on the left. Select desktop on the left. Save the file. Give it a name as SQL class or something. Save it. After saving the script, I'll tell you few steps. All of you please follow this. Am I audible to everyone and you're following me exactly every point? Fine. Now go to the left. On the top, you have file, edit, view, query, database tabs, right? On the top, you have file, edit, view, query, database tabs. Under that, click on edit. Select edit tab. Select edit tab. You have preferences. Preferences, the last option in it. The last option is preferences. Under this, on the left corner, you have SQL editor in this window. SQL editor on the left, that is your right. Go to your left. SQL editor. Scroll down. Select SQL editor and scroll down completely. Scroll down completely. Now you see here on last you have a checkbox telling save updates. Can you see save updates, rejects updates? Remove the checkbox. Yes, click on OK. Click on OK. Now you save this script again. Just click on save again. Just to make sure it is up to date. Close MySQL and open MySQL again. Once you do that settings change, you have to close MySQL. I didn't say minimize. I told close. Correct. Close it. Now again open MySQL. Workbench. Did it open? Huh. Double click. Now execute that line called update student info. Execute that line. It worked. Now see the table. Display the table and look at it. Line 12, line 12, line 12. Execute line 12. See it is updated. Did it work for all of you?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. You can unshare your screens. And now I'll share the screen. Did everyone follow that? I went very slow step by step. Did everyone follow that? Yes. Okay then. So now this is how we update the record. Suppose already there is a table created and particular value you want to change. You want to change that particular value. You go with something called update. Update is used to change the value or update a particular value. Okay. Next. And the next one we have after that is delete. Okay. Now when I'm teaching you delete, so firstly, you see here, we have all the records in a table present. Do I have all the data in the table? I have 8 rows in the table, not 8 rows, 6 rows in the table. Correct, I have 6 rows in the table, right? Now see, I'll write delete from table name, student info. If I do a semicolon and execute, it is successfully executed. On the bottom you see there is green. So it is successfully executed. Now if I do select star from, what happened? Is the table present here? Is the table present here?
Deleted.
Who told that? Sorry.
Divya.
So if table is deleted, when I do select star from, what is this student ID, student name marks? I didn't say data if it is, I asked if is table is still there. Table is present, right? We have student ID, student name marks. All the rows which you are inserted as deleted.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Information was deleted.
correct. So delete function will remove all the data which is inserted. If you write delete from and table name, it will delete all the data which are inserted. Okay. Now again, I'm just manually doing it in general, but I'll show you another ways. For now, I'm doing manual. That doesn't mean you go manually do it. Okay. Now I have here, I'll go to the next line. I'll do delete from student info. Now let's see. I have inserted all the data again. So I have all the data again. Okay. I did insert into, I executed all these statements. Now when I do delete from this student table, where student ID is equals to 8. I'm telling, I'm just telling the database that it'll have to delete the record in a student info table where student ID is 8. You see someone called student ID 8 is here. Okay. Now if I execute this, done, executed successfully. Now if I do select star from, only that row is deleted. If you want to delete a particular row, you can do delete from. If you want to delete all the rows in a table, then you can do delete from table name. So it will delete all the rows in a table. Here it will delete a particular row using a where condition. How to write multiple condition in where clause, that we will learn when we are learning where clause. Okay. And now delete from student info. That means you will delete a particular table, all the records. Okay. Now coming back to the next one we have here. If I go back here, now I'll do something called truncate. If I do truncate student info. If I do truncate, now see presently what do I have in the table? I have all the records in a table. If I execute the table, I have all the records in a table. Now if I do truncate, now then again execute the table. What happened again? Table is present, but data, records are deleted, correct? So the table is present, but records are deleted. So delete and truncate are used to remove the records in a table. But what is the difference between delete and truncate? Obviously, someone sees two are same. There must be some difference. So the difference between both of them is, now again I'll insert the data. Here I'll go here. I have inserted this data again. Now if I do select star from, I have the data in my table. Okay. Now you see, I'll go with, I'll start to write start transaction. If I first execute start transaction, execute it in the next line. Now if I, not in the next line, any line you write. See, now I'll do delete from student info. Okay, if I do delete from student info, what happens? It will delete all the records. But I first executed start transaction. Now I'm executing delete. I have executed delete. So now if I look at the table, all the data is deleted. Now after transaction, whatever statement I've executed, if I do roll back and execute, now if I display the table for you again, did I get the data back? Did I get the data back? So the main difference between delete and truncate is, delete is temporary deletion. So that means you can roll back the records which are deleted. But for that you have to do start transaction. Okay. And after that, truncate is permanent deletion. You cannot revert the changes. Truncate is permanent deletion. Is it understood? Am I clear, or do you have any confusions? Delete is temporary deletion where you can revert back the changes. Truncate is permanent deletion. You cannot revert back the changes. Okay, fine. This is about delete, truncate and update. Now, next option we have. Next command which we have to learn is drop table. If I do drop table and give table name and execute, it will drop complete table. Even though I do select star from student info, it will tell table does not exist. So until now, whatever you have done, delete and truncate are putting the structure, they're remaining the structure of the table the same way, but it has removed all the data in the record, in the table. But drop table will drop all the records along with the table which you have created. So this is the main difference between delete, truncate and drop. Am I clear? Fine, no reply. Now this is about delete, drop and truncate. So we have studied drop table, delete and truncate. Now we have something called alter. Okay, so what does this alter do? So first let me create a table again. See, we have personal DB table. I'm executing it again. We have personal DB table here. In this personal DB table, see, it is successfully executed. Create table is executed. Now I'll insert the data. Just running these queries to insert the data. Then I have, once the data is inserted, now let me look at the data here. Let me write it again here. Select star from student info. Now you see you have a table here. In this table, if you're trying to insert into student info and the values are, let me write 15, comma, Rakesh, inverted comma, comma, some random marks. Now if I execute this, will this get executed or will it fail? Will this get executed or will it fail? When I'm creating a table, okay, I from now I'll not expect replies. Maybe you don't want to reply. If you have doubts, post it in the chat box. So if you see here in the char, you didn't mention any length. So on the left, if I go here and click on the table, the length of the char is 1. Length 1 in the sense, suppose you have something called Harsha, Harsha. The length is 6. Similarly, if I write 1.5, the length is 2. The default length, what did I give in char? I didn't mention anything. So default it has taken 1. Now it will only accept the length maximum of 1. So will it take this record if I insert? Because it has a length 2.
No.
It will not accept, right? So that's the reason we will do execute. Now see, it is telling data too long for student ID at row 1. But table is already there. Now how do I do corrections? How do I correct it?
Alter option.
So basically, few might be confused that we have to use go back to the table. We have to use this query to correct it. But that's not the right way. If you already created a table, you cannot change that. Instead, you have something called alter table. The table name is student info. In this, I want to modify column. I want to alter table student info. I want to modify column. Which column do I want to modify? Student ID. Okay, in this I want to increase the length of char to 5. Now if I execute, on the left you see, if I refresh, it is 1 now. If I refresh, the changes char is updated to 5. Okay, like this you can use alter table modify column to modify the data structure you have in the table. Next one you have is, in a alter, you also have another column called, now if it is modified, if I execute this, now you see it will get in, see it is fine, successful. It accepted because it got modified. So in alter, you also have some other commands like alter table, student info, if you want to add a column. Okay, if I have, so for example, I want to add a column, phone number. I'll go with if someone wants to write plus 91, you will need special characters and the numbers. If it is so, I'll go with varchar 10. Okay, this is my phone number. Now, if I display the table, see you have a new column added. Okay, you have a new column added. Next alter command you have is, you know how to add a column. Then you have alter table, student info, drop column. The column is phone number. Now, when you're dropping, you need not tell the details of the column. But when you're inserting, you have to be particular about what data type you want. When you're deleting, you just have to tell the name of it. Now, if I do control enter, okay. Now, if I execute the table, see, we don't have the new column which was created, phone number. Right, the new column which is created, the phone number is not here. Fine. Now coming to the next, the last alter command we have, that is rename column. We have something called student info. You can rename a column. Suppose I have a marks column, marks to grade. So I want to rename a column which is marks to grade. Now if I execute, it is successful, and if I display the table, see the column name is changed to grade. Okay. Now if I want to revert back this, I'll again write grade here, grade to marks. Execute. Now again display the table. Again it is marks. So like this you can rename the table, you can add a new column, you can remove a column, and you can also modify the structure of a particular column using this alter commands. Okay, and this is about the alter commands. Now let's talk about constraints in SQL. So constraints are actually the rules which are set up on a table. Okay, constraints includes not null, unique, default, and check. And we also have something called primary key, foreign key. First, let's discuss first four. That is not null, unique, default, and check constraint. Later, we will go with primary key and foreign key. So now, for example, if I take an Excel, okay, in an Excel, now you see, suppose we have some table. Now let's go with the data which we discussed yesterday. So this is our table. Okay, today I'll make it in, info is already there. I'll make it student marks. Student marks table. Okay, my table name is student marks. Now in this table, I have 3 columns called student ID, student name, and marks. Now, can I give the same number to 2 different students like this? Can I give the same ID for 2 different students? Can I give the same ID to 2 different students? Okay, no replies.
No. No, ma'am.
So basically, as you cannot give 2 people the same ID, we being a humans, we are aware of it. But for a system, you should even mention that. For that, you have to tell the ID column should follow a rule called unique. It should not allow 2 different rows to have the same ID. And then, can we leave a student without an ID? So always when we do the admission itself, you will get the admission number, which is a unique ID mostly. So in the unique identification, we cannot leave any students without an ID, right? So that rule we have to tell it as not null. That means it cannot be null. Suppose if a value is empty, so directly my SQL will take it as null. So in order to ignore that taking of null, we have to write not null. That means do not allow anyone to give this row empty without student ID. And next, suppose you have a marks column. Can I give marks? Suppose exam is for 100 marks. Can I give anyone more than 100 marks? I cannot give anyone more than 100 marks, right? So for that, we will use something called check. So we will tell it to check. Like this, you can write any rules. So I'll tell it to check that it should not allow any marks greater than 100. So it should always be 100 or less than 100. Next rule I have is default. Suppose if I'm not giving any marks column, like if I'm not giving any marks in this marks column, by default, take it as 0, something like that I can write. Now, where do you write these rules? So these rules are written when you're creating a table. Okay, now let's create a table by including the constraints. So constraints are called the rules which are set up on a table. So constraints are called the rules which are set up on a table. Okay, so that's why we will write it as create table. My table is student marks. Bracket open, inside the table. I want student ID. It should be char length 5 days. Until you finish writing all the rules on a column, you should not give a comma. Okay, now my student, I have a column called student ID. Then I have something called char, that is a data type, and it should follow the length of 5. Okay, it should follow the length of 5. And now I want it to be unique. And it should also follow a rule called not null. So now all the rules which I want to apply on this column are completed. Now put a comma, enter. Next I have student name. I want varchar 20. Okay, if you want this also to be unique, you can do it. You can write. Next column I have is marks. In marks, so in marks, I have something called integer. I'll use some data type which is called integer so that it will support the numbers. And I also want to write a constraint called default and 0. So that means if I'm not giving any number, it should take a default value of 0. Okay, comma. And if you want to write check constraint here, continue, you can do it, but it will be a confusion. So I'm writing here, any of the way it works. I want to check mark should always be less than or equals to 100. Now I'll close another bracket because I have opened a bracket here. I'm closing that bracket here, semicolon, execute. Now the table is created. Now let's display the table. To display the table, we have to write select star from student marks, semicolon, and execute. Now here you have the empty table for now. Now let's insert the data. First record when you're inserting, insert into student marks. And I don't want to write column names because I want to enter the first record with all the values. So let me write baby 100, execute. Now if I display the data, it is executed. Now if I execute this again, will it work? If I execute this syntax again, will it insert another same row? No, it will not. See, now if I execute again, it is telling duplicate entry 1 for student marks dot student ID, because I told student ID have to be unique. Right? That's why it didn't accept. Okay, I'll change it to 2. Will it accept?
Yes.
No, it will still not accept. See, I executed. It's still not accepting because student name also I told unique.
Yeah.
Okay. Now if I write something like this, change the name. Now if I execute, yes, it is executed. Now if I execute this table, we have student ID, student name, and marks. Now if you don't want to give, now you understood that it is working, unique is working. Now I want to try and insert the data and see if the constraint is working fine. I want to insert values for student name and marks. If I want to insert for all the columns, I have to write column name. I need not write the column names. But if for a particular column, if you want to insert the data, we generally go with writing the column names. Correct. Now in these two columns, I want to insert values, and the value for student name is Sean, comma, and marks I'll give something like this. Now if I execute, see it is not accepting. Why? Because I told student ID cannot be null. Even though it is null, we didn't give the default value. At least if you don't want it to be null, give at least some default value so that I can replace. So that is the problem it is facing now. Okay. Now if I add this, here also student ID. If I add, now it will work again. So it is successfully executed. So this way unique and not null constraints will work. It will not allow duplicates in a row and in a column, and it will also not allow the ID to be null because we wrote not null. Now next, so I'll stop giving marks. See now, insert into student marks, and I have student ID, student name, and my values are 5 comma, the name I'll write it as Eric. Okay, so what value will I get in the marks column if I'm not giving any marks? If I'll not give any marks, I'll get default 0. So if I execute this, it is successfully executed, and in the table you see it gave 0. So this is how default constraint works. Okay, so if you're not giving any value for the marks column, it will automatically take default 0. Now next, okay fine, it is taking 0, very good. Now I want to insert into student marks. In this I want to insert data into student ID for all of them. I want to insert for all of them. So I'll take values. In this values, I'll go with 6 comma. Then I have John. Okay, comma. Then I have some marks. For example, I'll give 101. Will it accept if I go with 101?
No, we have condition less than 100.
Yes, as we have a condition less than 100, it will not accept 101. Now if I execute, see it is telling check constraint student ID check 1 is violated. That's the reason it will not allow 101 to work. Instead, if I give 100, yes, it will accept because I told less than or equals to 100. So now if I execute, say it is successfully executed and you have the data. Okay. So we have the last 10 minutes left. So with this, I'll stop. And if someone has questions, please shoot out your questions and let me know if you're stuck anywhere. And if someone has errors while execution, please tell me. I'll let you share the screen. Where you get the values, I couldn't understand. Deepa, I didn't understand your question basically. I'm inserting the records, not to get the values. What is the doubt in it?
Madam,
Yes.
values, where is the values? Where you will get, madam? Excel sheet, huh?
I'm writing here. I'm not getting it from anywhere. I'm typing the value here. I'm not getting it from anywhere.
Oh, madam,
Sorry.
this is formula.
This is the syntax which you have to write to insert the record. If you write insert, if you are telling to insert the record
Okay.
for this columns and this is the data, so that row will be inserted. Okay, fine. Any other questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me.
That was all.
In Google Classroom, what are the documents used for?
What do you mean by what are the documents?
Yes, ma'am. There's one page, single page document. So, what's the use of that document that I read
One
in
second.
Google Classroom?
1 second. Let me open the Google Classroom. You have a one-page document. Okay. Okay. Now this is the one you have. I'll open it. You mean this one-page document?
Yes, ma'am.
Did
SQL
you
Classroom.
open that and see what is there in it?
Yes, ma'am. I saw it, but I don't clearly understand that.
What did you how did you open that?
Ma'am, I have in my Google Classroom just notes.
One
I've
second.
already sent it.
What is the extension of this file? What is the
Um,
extension of this file?
I don't know.
Okay, see here. What is the extension of this file?
SQL classnotes.sql.
What is the extension? Only give me only extension, not file name.
Uh, I don't understand.
Okay, listen to me carefully. So here you see a file here.
Yes, ma'am.
There is an extension dot. After dot, what do you have?
SQL.
So where will SQL work? Will it work everywhere in your system, or where will that SQL work?
Not everywhere in Power
Where will
BI.
it work if not everywhere?
In MySQL.
It will work only in database. Correct.
Okay.
Did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
open it in database?
No, ma'am, because
Hmm.
my laptop has just repaired and it has to be open it next 24 hours. So I don't.
So then only if you guys open this in SQL, only then you can see it. If not, you cannot see this. See, I'm removing that again. I have the latest document now. Today's notes also is updated here.
So
I
that
have saved
document is used in
notes. One
only
second.
database.
Let me finish. Let me finish. I'll show you how to open also. Let me finish. So see, I'm uploading the notes again. The latest file I have 27/2024.
Okay.
I have uploaded. Now when you guys download this, okay,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
will get a file something called .sql file, right? First download it. Don't directly open it on your phones. If you download it, you will get something like this. See, you will get SQL text file. Okay. When you have SQL text file, open your database. Okay. Let me save this. Fine. Open your database, go to file. First
Okay.
download the file. After that, go to the file. Sorry. In the file, you have something called Open SQL script. If I click
Oh,
on Open SQL script, see you have sample class. The same way you will also have, 1 second here. See, you will also have your SQL class notes. This is your notes.
hmm.
When selecting it, click on open. Then you will see the queries. What I wrote every day in the class here.
Okay.
Because it is .sql, it will open only in database.
Okay.
Understood now?
I I have just understand that these are the commands to be used.
Correct. This is a
So
subject which we are learning since
in
2 days.
text in text format these are written as just commands.
In text
Hello,
format.
ma'am.
Why is text
Yes, ma'am.
format coming here?
I, no, not here. Actually, I have just opened in that time.
Where
It
did
is
you open?
in mobile.
In mobile, do you have database to see this?
No, ma'am.
Then .sql will work in your data in your phone.
No.
That's why open it in database. Okay?
Okay, okay. I have done. I will do it. Now my laptop has repaired, so okay.
Okay.
I will open it in the next 24 hours. So okay, thank you.
And guys, from tomorrow, meeting link is going to change.
Okay.
Okay?
Timing is also changed, ma'am.
No, timing is same. Only meeting link will change.
Okay, and if there's any error occurs while doing that, so I can chat here.
While doing what?
Then,
I didn't understand.
ma'am, today's work. I don't have
See,
my laptop, so
basically, you don't have your laptop, but I have shared you the notes which will work properly. Correct?
okay.
I went very slow. You listen to the class. You also have the recording. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
You can do
Hmm.
any of these things first. Still, you're not able to do it. Then we will see an alternative.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
So once there is a notification from admin telling You will receive further classes, meeting links, recordings, video access if your payment is done and if you have enrolled. And WhatsApp groups are created, and you will also get a WhatsApp group. And then job and placement updates and document etc. also you will get the updates. So admin has posted this message for all of you guys. So this is the message from the admin. Yeah. Any other questions, please shoot out. If not, you can feel free to leave the class. That's about it for today. Thanks for joining. See you all back tomorrow. Okay, I don't see any questions. Thank you guys. Bye bye. See you all back tomorrow.